I'm feeling more dysfunctional than usual. It's like almost 10 a.m., 9:59, Wednesday, November 20th, 2024. It feels like the air keeps clearing and then something again and clearing and something again. I think I'm having cramps. I can't tell if I'm getting my period, which is annoying. Yeah, am I just stressed out? It's like I suddenly like smell different. Like physically. It's weird. It seems like they left for a minute anyway. Maybe they have to take a drive around the fucking block so it doesn't seem so obvious that they're fucking with me. I don't know. But what, for like an hour? And it's like, to me, it's so obviously fucking with me. No, I'm here 24/7 for 4 years. I know how often you've done anything. If you have somebody that comes and slams a truck door open and closed over, and how often that happens, like, and whether it's like how loud you can make it and stuff. I mean, I'm not being exaggerating. I'm not being stupid. Yet somebody coming and like running their engine right, it's like they're even like directly across from me in the street instead of waiting at the intersection. Like, stuff that should be obvious for somebody that would be like giving a fuck. Yeah, why doesn't anyone give a fuck? There's this, skipping around a little bit, there's this short-term rental assistance program that pays for your rent for like 24 months. And they're acting like it's like some secret society. Like, they don't give you a direct answer about how you're even supposed to get into the program. They might as well just say it's only for the people we like, and we don't even like you. Like, I've been asking about the same shit for years, really. I mean, yet we decided we don't like you. I mean, is it because you're all Christians? Could that be why you don't like me? Could that be like the most obvious fucking reason why a bunch of people my whole life just didn't like me? Because you're Christian and I'm like openly, intellectually like a vocal atheist. I'm not shitting on your religion, but it's like part of my book of life to like talk about religion. That's why you don't like me? It's not like I keep my mouth shut and you wouldn't even know. You're part of some fucking cult army? I'm a feminist. I'm a vegetarian. Someone's screaming outside now. I mean, like, what is the really true answer why you don't fucking like me? You think you're scared of me for some fucking reason? You have no right reason to be scared of me. You must be a moron. Yeah, this shit around me is what's scary. You are the terrorist thing. Yeah, and just keep on acting like there's ever something wrong with me when it's like, what the fuck don't you get? Yeah, it's my family and my friends in my city, bitch. Well, that's so weird that they have America as a thing and you like move places and you pretty much fucking like, designed the city for people like me to move to in the first place. It was the most atheist city in the country. You had all this Portlandia shit. You have every cunt fucking music venue in the fucking thing. I mean, people's like livelihoods depend on people like me coming here to enjoy themselves, right? But you so conveniently like, and all the cannabis tax money. I'm a fucking medical patient and a bud tender, but I don't get to live here? Because it's some like secret group's friends and family? I mean, it's probably the same shit in New York City, LA, Chicago, way bigger cities. They probably have the same shit going on. And you just don't know about it because you haven't lived there. Everyone must be running their own little fucking mini society within society or something. Yeah, and you're all, let me guess, rich and have some other like fucking factor that ties you all together. So that it's an us against you thing. Like life's a fucking sport or something. Terrorized me out of my home like I'm supposed to go live in fucking Forest Park. There was like a story when I first moved here. They wrote a book about it, right? Oh, a book deal. Ooh. Of like a dad and his daughter living in Forest Park or something until they got caught, right? Because you're not supposed to. Yeah, why don't you have a fucking crazy story that almost kills you and then you can sell it to us and we'll make a movie out of it and everybody will get rich and you can go fuck yourself. Yeah, what is the idea? Something to do with the military. Something to do with cops. Something to do with the government. Hollywood. Money and capitalism. Candy. Yeah, more to the point of like child labor in the candy supply chain than really like sugar itself. Though, yeah, I mean, that's part of it, but like I'm trying to get to the things that like directly connect Portland and not just like the world, I guess. I don't know, what does Portland specifically have to do with candy or chocolate or sugar, milk? There's Tillamook. They make cheese, like really good cheese. Yeah, unless they want to do like cashew milk. You gotta have cows to make cheese. So the dairy farming network or something. Yeah, they showed us the machines and the pasteurization process and the story about a cow that had a hole cut in its side with a flap so that they could study, and the cow was alive and they could study it. And yeah, I mean, I learned about this in high school. Yeah, we learned about prescribed burns too. So when you talk about like every time you talk about wildfires, it just makes me think of prescribed burns. Both like in the literal sense of a forest and in some metaphoric sense of doing this shit to people and communities. Not like literally burning them with fire, but like cleansing them, clean and safe, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, some weird fucking, it's my friends over you shit. What was Portland supposed to be? Like the good part. Alternative people, liberals, people with like a different fashion sense, a different lifestyle sense. Yeah, they did drugs, but not in the like, they want to give you this image. When you say they do drugs, they want you to think of that guy writhing on the ground in the middle of an intersection like in the walkway where the person in a wheelchair needs to get through. So they're like, kind of also fucking with people with disabilities. So they're in every way possible just being like in the way and a negative site, instead of like the Cannabis Club, which I never got to go to, but you imagine like a smoking lounge and people using cannabis together in this, and you have like a special card to get in, or somebody just like having a joint at the waterfront with their friends, laughing. Nothing harmful in sight. Instead of like these, like you painting these images of like people responsibly having fun, I guess you could say the same thing about alcohol easily. The image of people going to clubs, having parties, like networking in some way, having friends, alcohol is involved. Or you can have like the image of someone vomiting. And being a giant catastrophic mess. It's funny how we're so used to both of these images that it's like you couldn't just say, oh, it's always the vomiting. Yeah, they're never gonna like completely stop the alcohol industry, because some people vomit sometimes. Or get into like a drunk driving accident, which, yeah, I don't condone that. Wait an hour. If I ever had kids, I'd tell them to wait an hour. Never drive if you can't see. Like, pull the fuck over. Don't listen to your friends. Whatever the fuck they have to say, you immediately, like, take care of yourself and pull over. Don't get in a car with somebody who's drunk. Yeah, even if they pressure you. Well, somebody who's driving who's drunk. Yeah, not another passenger who's drunk. They might be annoying, but they're not driving, right? Yeah, some sense of being like adults about it. Carl Hart's book is called Drug Use for Adults. It's like that was like the Portland way. Art, public art, lowbrow art, kitschy art, not just like, I don't know, the Philadelphia Museum of Art or the Met or something. Like, not art in the sense where you only see it in a place that has marble floors. Like, it's everywhere. It's on the side of a building. The protest part did not come fully into focus until 2020. I did not have a clue how much you should, like, I associated the place with human rights, but not like that. Not that strong, like, not whatever black bloc is. I didn't even learn the words black bloc until like 2020. Or psyop. Yeah, if I could make a vocab list of things I learned in 2020. I never heard ACAB before 2020. And yeah, this stuff's been around since the 80s. It isn't like, I've never heard of this shit before. When I thought the protest community of Portland was more like housing rights. I in the background of my mind, people went on strike for things. People had marches. Yeah, I went to a couple like Black Lives Matter, and we just walked down the street. There was no tear gas. We stopped in front of the Apple store, and people gave speeches for maybe like 20 minutes. And then we walked to the bridge, and they wouldn't let us cross the bridge, and we went home. There was no fight. There was no tear gas. There was no booms or bangs. And apparently they had done this like kettling thing, and they had used tear gas on people before. I was never at those protests. I didn't even know about them till after 2020. Like anything that happened before 2020. The protest I went to was like as if there's like a track of downtown. You go to like Pioneer Square. You walked around, but you end up past the Apple Store. It's like a loop. I think you come back up and meet, like, you see people go up through Burnside. I don't know if I actually walked up through Burnside at one point. I remember being at Pioneer Square, and I remember going past the Apple Store, and I remember going towards one of the bridges. I don't want to say it was the Morrison Bridge. I'm not sure what bridge it was. It wasn't the Burnside Bridge where they stopped us. And I still have the red, they gave us a candle to hold. And I still have the red candle. Like, and it was a completely peaceful protest. And that was with the same groups, and I think Don't Shoot Portland was there. I just didn't know what they were about yet. I hadn't heard of Teresa Rayford or her story, but I actually have her, I think it's her, like talking to a group of people in front of the Pioneer Square. I didn't know who she was yet. Yeah, and her story is like, you know, it kind of feels like a betrayal to say the police weren't so bad in Portland. Someone must have taken it out on the cops here because, like, they put dead possums in front of her family's business and fucked with her directly. Like, that was her story. So to say, because in my mind, like, the cops here even smoke weed. The direct experiences I had before the stories I learned, like Kendra James and Andre Gladden, and stories you heard like in 2020, before that, I would have just thought the cops here smoke weed too. Like, this place is so chill, even the cops are chill. Yeah, and the idea that somebody, you know, they wanted to bring in the military, bring in cops from other places, break that up because they passed Measure 110 and they did not want Measure 110 to succeed and set a precedent for the whole country that we could use drugs. And that's what shit's really about. Or, well, not really about, as in, like, it wasn't, it like hijacked Black Lives Matter, and it was really about dismantling a community that was, like, more progressive. The friends I had that told me to move here were also like hippie kids. They came from, at least they came from a hippie vein in this life, you know. They liked music, and for fuck's sake, yeah, the first time I ever like had a cannabis experience was like because of them. There's not. So I don't think they told me to move here because they knew they were going to dismantle. Yeah, they're the ones with the stories out the ass. I don't want to tell their stories for them. It's like, I'm just trying to figure out what exactly happened here. Like, why you wouldn't have told me to move here, and then I don't think they would have wanted something conservative to take over. Yeah, it makes more sense that if they thought that there was a group of people that might fuck with me. But why would they fuck with me? I don't know. Something about making everybody seem dismissible. Like no one's allowed to be super competent and super strong and right about things. They're supposed to be just crazy enough to write them off, or like, because it's a kind of power or something, and they want to take that power away from people. I don't know where that's coming from. See, if they were from like if they were from England, and you want to make up a story about English espionage in the American tradition, and like they've always been after you guys and you just didn't even notice because you like the fucking Beatles or something, like I don't know, right? Even on that point, like they would say they were more Rolling Stones, other people were more about the Rolling Stones or the Clash, and I was the one that liked the Beatles in the first place, right? Like as if that secretly meant something I didn't understand before. Just what it means to like the Beatles and why so many people didn't like them. Because they felt tricked by them, maybe. I definitely would have been like a John Lennon, I think. Like through everything he ever did. Yeah, that's the kind of protest, like a bed-in, a peaceful march, like... Not like a war zone thing. Yeah, some creative alternative protest. Like Banksy is a protest. That's the kind of shit I thought was going on before 2020. Yeah, something called like wheat pasting. You know, that's as much as anything, like as hardcore as it got, like, and in a good way. It's not to I think art is the best kind of protest, obviously. It's like the hippies and the peacekeeper types just needed to be as like rough about it or something as the ones that wanted violence. Like you had to be just as like much of a hard ass about peace or peaceful methods of protest, like art, like wheat pasting. You know, it's like you put a poster up. And yeah, it's just like being as hardcore about that as you would be about the idea that you're supposed to like go scream and yell and throw shit or set anything on fire, which now I am like, it's like there's an entire community that I can't really talk to because they'll set stuff on fire is what it, and I don't know who they are, but they're supposed to stand for like important things. It's like they're on the right side of history, but they set dumpsters on fire. And like I'd have to be there in peace police and say no, don't do that, and then they hate me because I would say no, don't do that, even if you give them really good reasons why they shouldn't do that, like the idea that they'll let it burn or something so they can blame you for whatever happens. Like it's not something you can control enough to like just use it as a tactic. And then you find out, yeah, someday you'll find out who the fuck was really like encouraging people, and that, like that the encourager wasn't necessarily on their team or something. Like Yeah, the idea that I suddenly am like, okay, you can like keep talking about Portland forever and that's fine. That's what I'm here for then? To just remember stuff and put it like, just if you just focus on Portland, someone's gonna like let you live, also feels really fucked up. You're like an asset to the city and you have to be an investment to somebody, and if you don't pay off, they're gonna kill you. One way or another. Like, what's Vive? Why is the word Vivance going through my head? What the fuck is Vivance? It sounds familiar. That's an ADHD. That's not how I thought you would spell it. Treats ADHD binge eating disorders. What? Whatever, man. I don't know what the fuck that has to do with anything. I was never diagnosed with ADD or ADHD. I know other people who said they were. Usually my spiel on Ritalin and Adderall is that no one's taking into account how that might have been part of like a meth pipeline. Like, people got prescribed opioids in the hospital, they run out of their prescription, they go to opioids on the street. And everyone's really familiar now with that chain of events that happens to somebody, but they don't talk about like Ritalin and Adderall. And if their prescription runs out, are they like going to meth? Somebody used to say meth is just like one molecule away from these like ADHD drugs. And yeah, they overprescribed them and it stunts people's growth. Somebody had a brother who was on Ritalin, and she's the one that specifically told me, and she was like an adult that worked at school, you know, like a competent, respectable source of information or something, you could say, not just like anybody. She was deemed competent, and she, you know, said that it stunted his growth. It like fucks with your pituitary gland. So yeah, and what, they're in a band, they play the banjo or something now. The government giving people these drugs and then they do something with them. Some connection of dots. I was only ever put on Effexor XR for 2.5 years. Like, I got off of it cold turkey, which you're not supposed to do. I had weird little zappy. It's like there was like a lag between your eyes and your head. I didn't like how I felt even when I was on it, though. That's why I wanted off of it. And that and my sister saying, like, it gets stuck in your spine and you have to be on it for the rest of your life, and thoughts about, like, well, what if they ever, like, discontinue it? Then you're gonna have to change, like, and your whole life is, like, gonna be just like your parents and shit. Like, I just didn't want to deal with the pharmaceutical world. I like cannabis. Cannabis has been around for thousands of years. It makes me feel how I want to feel. I have PTSD, depression, and anxiety. Yeah, now I just can't afford it. I'm a licensed bud tender and a medical patient. I just can't afford the fucking shit. Yet you can't focus now because people are terrorizing you. That's not the same as like a kid in a totally regular environment with no extra special things going on, and they can't focus and stuff. Like, no, it's like a kid in a war zone not being able to focus. Well, no shit, asshole. Like, yeah, fuck with their brain chemistry, see how well that, and then wait 75 years and see what they're like. Oh, right, the people that develop these drugs won't even be alive when these people are 100 years old. The people they put them on. The patients they prescribe them to won't even. Yeah, it's something. Sure, you won't even be able to know the difference if everybody's like the same. Of what people are supposed to be like and how much they're supposed to remember. It is really weird, the world you live in, and you have all these like TV channels and stuff. Like, oh, you have so many things that could keep people occupied all day, but they have to work all the time and don't have, like, how do they enjoy the stuff that you keep making? Who has the time to watch all this shit you make? It doesn't really make any sense. Yeah, because that is like my thought process is like it's a shame to, because that's kind of what you want to do with your life, like make Black Mirror episodes, be like a new Twilight Zone. Who's gonna watch it? How do they have time to watch it and like even care enough for you to like be a thing? Somebody's got to stay home all day to be entertained. It's fucking weird. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, who the fuck is gonna... You always have this one viewer. Who the fuck is there day and night, no matter when I'm on this thing, to watch me talk? Or Hassan Piker. He's there every single day for 10 hours a day. Who is watching him every day for 10 hours a day? What the fuck do they do for a living? And you do kind of have to watch him for at least like longer than 15 minutes at a time. Because otherwise you're going to misunderstand him. Yeah, that does seem like a perfect example of something that just doesn't add up. Like if I went on there right now, I don't know if he's live. He comes on at like 11. Yeah, notice that the banging kind of stopped. But yeah, just trying to follow the thought process. Like, I think he, when I look on, you can see like who's watching from what countries, and it'll say like 4,000 people from the US, and then like a bunch of other places, some places only have like one person watching. But I think it like 3 or 4,000 people, and he's got like 1 million regular followers or something, like all added together. Yeah, there's a dude on TikTok that's kind of a similar pattern. He has like 1 million followers, and he'll get like 4,000 likes on his TikTok videos. And he's like almost, he does like, he has some social commentary. I wish he had done, I stopped following him because I got creeped out. Like, I really like him, and he hits my brain in a special way because I like him, but I feel like I'm not supposed to like him, and it's weird that I like him. That's a whole personal thing, I guess, but just the numbers of it, like 1 million people follow him, and like 4,000 people will like a video consistently. Like, how, I mean, yeah, and that's for 5 seconds. He's not doing like a 10-hour. He does like a coffee live in the morning, and he talks in the morning, and then like does his video, and he doesn't even post a video every day. On 3 different, he has like 3 different accounts for some reason. Siren sound. I don't know if he has 1 million followers on each of the accounts or not. It's not the same fucking guy. Like, I really don't think it is the same guy. It's just like really fucking creepy. It would be like, oh, Wii if it was literally the same human being. And what, he changed his name, he acts like he's like 5 years younger than he was. He got some level of plastic surgery, maybe he started working out. I mean, he'd have to have like changed like his whole fucking life to be this guy. But it is like really creepy, the things that are like, it's the same person. They have to have known each other. They must be cousins or twins, or they can't be twins. He's 5 years younger than the other one. They must be in some religious cult thing that like does this to people. I don't know. And he's not the only person that has like startlingly similar characteristics. I don't know how I ended up finding them, the specific people. Like, they just ended up in my algorithm. There's got to be like 5 guys that look like that look and act and are like somebody that I knew who died. Like a different guy. And then there's one of those 5 that's like it is like more uncanny than the other ones. Like, I keep watching him sometimes because I miss the guy I knew. Yeah, weren't they all wearing a special necklace at some point? That made it seem like they were even more like in a thing. It was a thing. Yeah, sorry, I would have never signed up to be the center of anybody's weird little like donut. I don't know what the fuck that is. And if no one's like talking to you, I don't think they really give a shit about you, right? Like they're gonna use you for something and leave you for dead and act like you were crazy. It's not like a nice thing to do. Yeah, somebody's like warped little fantasy and you can't even figure out what it is because it's so far from your own brain. Like, I don't even understand what it would have done for people. It was just like funny to rip somebody apart. Like you were a target. They'd, play this weird game out where you're like infatuated with people that you don't even know and then make fun of you until you died or something. Is that it? The fuck? I don't understand why anyone makes noise unless they're trying to like get themselves in trouble. I mean, it's their way of laughing at you. Like, haha, you can't do anything about it. Haha. I don't get it. Well, I mean, just like doing that, then isn't that kind of like evidence? Yeah, someone will argue that, oh, it's just how it, like, but someone that can prove it's not just the soundscape and prove that it's like a sound that's not going up the street, it's just like buzzing around right in front of your door. Like, there's got to be at least like 20 years from now, somebody like figures out some shit. Yeah, why would they give me so much time and attention? I don't know. But like that they could. It's possible. So then why even like give me the evidence that you're like fucking with me? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, how many times do I have to, and then you hear like a bus or a truck squealy brake sound. That somebody will believe me someday. That they like set my street up like a stage and used me like a sideshow. Because that's what it feels like. Yeah, maybe everyone's dead by then and they don't care if they get in trouble. Because they're dead. Like, what's the fucking point? Yeah, whatever, as long as you're not actually writing the next Harry Potter and you're not actually doing anything with your own fucking life, I guess. You're too busy being harassed. I did get my period. My body is sore. It is not a nice feeling to be so like completely socially like blasted to hell. Yeah, by people who probably deserve to be in hell themselves. Whatever hell is supposed to mean. I don't know. I wasn't the judgmental type. I'm getting like a big knot in my hair. I need to brush it out. I'm gonna get a headache. I've actually had less bad cramps the past for like less often than I did before 2020. Makes you wonder what the fuck was making me have such like I'd have pain radiating down my legs often. So I don't know why. Yeah, someone is making deliberate noise. I mean, but like, what are you gonna like? You're gonna get caught up in hours of just like noise, 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 and not say anything else. So fuck this. Yeah, maybe it's a way to try to even like, you know, you had like the obvious sirens go by, which is like a clear problem, but like having other sound like masks, it makes it sound like it's just one right, like, so it's, that's just how it sounds. It's not just how it sounds. And I mean, how many times do I have to explain it? And no one's gonna fucking listen to me until it's too late. Yeah, it's just the idea that somebody could figure it out someday. I mean, if they wanted to, if they bothered, some like CIA recruit of 2050 when I'm 60 fucking years old. And these people are so dead that they don't even care. It's not like they're gonna brag to their grandchildren about what they did to me. Their grandchildren would fucking hate them if they knew what they did to me. So they're not gonna tell the next generation. Yeah, they just put a delay on like some inevitable progression of some good shit so that they could run amok for fucking the next 20 years. Make a big mess of shit on their way out just to be spiteful. I don't know. No, it isn't just whatever you say it is. There's objective reality that doesn't care or matter about what you said it was. I don't know, back up to like what you were saying Portland was supposed to be. What happened to it? Yeah, sometime in 2020, a bunch of people were like, get the fuck out. And I mean, how many people moved out and where did they go? Where are they now? And why did they leave? Would answer a lot of questions. You clearly do. I already have a room. You have the room for me. I already have a room. It was just like leaving me alone to be in my room. I've been in this fucking room since 2015. Yeah, they just won't, like, the real reasons are discriminatory and they're not supposed to fucking do that. Is like whatever the fuck. There's legal grounds to be like, no, you're assholes if they told the truth. Like, say something else. Yet we use this whole place to try to find a savior. It's all just a little system built to find savior kids. We decided you weren't one of them, so we're not going to let you live at all. Like, I don't have a savior complex. They do. They're the ones waiting around for Jesus. Somebody's idea of like you're in a battle. Let's like act like she's in a battle, so it puts all her fucking like and there's nothing going on. There's just assholes and mean people who think shit is funny. There's nothing happening. They're bored. Yeah, this is how you made me spend my life. Aren't you so powerful and fun? Yeah, it couldn't even, maybe like, well, whatever the fuck feedback you keep getting about being a coward is literally just like what their people said to them. They got called a coward over and over again, so now they're just gonna call you a coward because someone called them a fucking coward. And I'm not a coward. Some dickwad's revenge. Yeah, well, how many more years of my life do you intend on wasting? Just until you fucking pass away? And then what did they get out of that? They like literally took your youth from you, any chance you had to be something. They just want you to feel like you've been left to die because they feel like they've been left to die. I didn't leave you to die. I wasn't in charge. I'm a kid, you fucking moron. Well, compared to people who are like 50 years old or 60 years old now, I'm a kid. Yeah, if they were 40, I was 10. When they were fucking 20 or whatever. Or whatever, something like that. No, when they were 10, I was 5. If they're 40. Right? If they're 50, I'm bad at math. $50 minus 35. I'm almost 35. I'll be 35 next month. 15 years different. So if they're 50 right now, you know, they were 15 when I was born. I don't know, doesn't that put something in perspective? Yeah, I need a better, like if they were 50, they're 15 years older than me, so when I was 10 plus 15, they were 25. When they were 30, I was 15 years old. When they were 30, how old am I right now? 34. When they were my age, when they were 34, I was 19. Which, yeah, I mean, when they were 35, I was 20. I'm not your fucking problem. Yeah, when they were 35, I couldn't even drink yet. I couldn't drink yet. Yeah, and that's if they're 50. If they're like 60, I mean, for fuck's sake already, like. Great, my battery's dying. Well, I guess part of me has wanted this to be something so much smarter and more sophisticated and important than just like being trapped by your sister or something in a basement. You know. It's 11:04 p.m.